All right. Hey, last time we were talking with our friends from Walter Anderson Nurseries, we were talking about citrus trees in particular. Now we're going to talk about how you can have fruit year-round. It's one of the great things about living in San Diego. And one of the greatest resources, David Ross from Walter Anderson Nurseries. It's great to see you again, my friend.
Glad to be here.
Okay, now I know my lemon trees are going nuts right now, and they do year-round, but I want more.
With proper planting, you have citrus from start to finish. Year-round you can have it. And with fruit trees, you can have the same opportunities. Not quite year-round because they do go dormant in the winter, but if you plan correctly, you can start in late April, early May, and have fruit all the way through till Christmas. I brought in a vase here that has some flowers in it, and right in the very front you can see the first fruit of the season, which are cherries.
Cherry blossom time?
There are cherries that will grow in our mild Southern California climate. Mini Royal, Royal Lee, you need a pair of them, and those are the first fruits of the season. And as long as my kid's friend Kelly Roberts doesn't come over and eat every cherry off the tree, I'll get some. And behind those come the blueberries, and there's a whole bunch of different mild climate blueberries that will grow here. And if you plant successively, there's a half a dozen varieties that will tolerate a mild climate. You can have those too.
And that's a superfood.
That's a superfood. It goes with the pomegranates, peaches, plums, nectarines. You can have whatever you want. And with the planting we were talking about, year-round. The trees don't take a lot of space. If you have a little bit of space in your yard, you could start with brand new 5-gallon fruit trees. This is a tree you're looking at right here, which was bare root this year. It was planted 2 months ago. It's starting to leaf out.
People panic when they see this, though, in the nursery. They go, oh my gosh, I want to start with something bigger that's already bearing fruit. But that's going to be bearing fruit, as you see here, very shortly.
Here is a 1-year-old tree. That's 14 months, and it is covered with baby peaches. Now, so we've gone from that little tree you were looking at to this one, which you get a beautiful show of blooms, and then these are this year's peaches, which will probably ripe in about 2 months. So these won't be the first fruit I'll get. And then here's a 3-year-old tree. Not real big, and I don't have to let this tree ever get any bigger than what you're seeing right here. And if you plant different varieties, the first peach tree will produce 1 month, the next one another month, and another month, and you can do that with all your different kinds of trees.
And you're going to help folks out with that. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
you've got a special treat for them.
Even if they don't have any space. I mean, some people will look at this and say, I only have a balcony or something like that. I don't have room for a tree this size. But look at the beautiful blooms that you can have there. But they don't need to go in the ground. So you could take a genetic dwarf peach or nectarine tree like you're looking at right here in front of the table, and this tree right here can stay in the pot that was loaned to me this morning forever. My father-in-law has a tree like this. He's had in the ground for 20 years, and it's no more than 5 feet tall.
I thought you'd had to transplant them out eventually, and you're telling me no, they can stay in that pot forever, they'll be fine.
After about 6 or 8 years, you can pop it out of the pot, knock some dirt off, and put it right back with fresh soil in the pot, and it'll be happy for another few years. And those trees only grow a few inches a year, so you get some potting soil, you fill up your pot. This EB Stone potting soil right there is fantastic stuff for these trees, and feed them regularly, and you're ready to go.
And so you can have fresh fruit right on a balcony in an apartment or a condo.
There's not going to be any worrying about the store being closed or anything else. With the a total change of direction, with the rain coming up this weekend, we're talking about some rain on Sunday into Monday. If you haven't fed your fruit trees yet this year, it's a great time to get out.
Even my citrus?
Even your citrus.
Okay.
Whatever you have that hasn't been fed this year, it's going to be time to get out and start fertilizing. And I brought in a couple of Grow Power products here that are great for fertilizing in the yard. Grow Power All Natural Soil Conditioner activates your soil. It feeds the beneficial microorganisms in your soil, and Grow Power fertilizers will help all your fruit trees to produce more, much more often.
And it's important that you get them fertilized too. I mean, it has to do with the quality of the fruit, doesn't it?
Takes a lot of energy to produce the fruits we were talking about, and this is where that energy comes from. And if somebody wants some help planning out their garden, in addition to coming and visiting us, we have a free gift for them this weekend at Walter Anderson's. We have this is the blow-up chart of fruit tree ripening times. So you can literally plan this out.
Right across the calendar there. Now that's contained in this booklet, though. This is the blow-up of that.
This is a blow-up of that, but it gives each different type of fruit and the sequential ripening times that they will ripen. And it's in this book along with the descriptions of all of these different fruit trees that I've been briefly mentioning here.
Now, I see a price tag on that. That says that book's $5.
That's a $5 value. We're going to be giving out to people just for coming in and asking for it.
So no charge, but just say that you saw it on San Diego Living and you saw David and you'd like to get that book that he was talking about on fruit so you can have it year-round.
That's it. Both are Walter Anderson Nursery locations, the one in San Diego and the one in Poway.
I love the one up in Poway. I got to tell you, I've been in and out of there over the last 8-9 years dozens of times. They're so helpful in there. Because I don't know anything about this. That's kind of been the running gag of my family.
Without creating too much friction between the two stores, we have better parking lots and much nicer bathrooms. They have more character. Okay?
Without creating too much tension between the two stores.
Let's not make trouble.
Okay, now let's talk about next week, though.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to talk about vegetables, I think, next week.
We're starting to harvest onions and shallots and peas and all that kind of stuff. There's a beautiful shallot right there. So as you're harvesting and getting rid of last year's the winter vegetables, it's time to start thinking about peppers, tomatoes, squash, eggplant, all of those summer vegetables which are going to thrive on this warm weather that we're beginning to have. And that's what we'll talk about next week.
Maybe you haven't had a garden since you were a little kid, you know, you did it as a little project or something. Now's the time to really start thinking about getting back into it. It's good for the soul. It's good for your pocketbook when you get the fresh fruit. And it's good all the way around.
It's a great way for the family to spend some time if you can get them all together to do it.
Exactly. Hey, David, always good to see you.
All righty. Thanks a lot.
I'll see you at the Poway store.
Okay.
Not to create any friction.
No friction.
Between the two stores. Okay. All right. For more information, you go to san diego6.com. You just click on San Diego Living. Okay.